welcome to Brewsers, a podcast about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. I'm your host, Rody John, and today we talk to Zach with Hugos Cocktails. We talk all about how they got started during the pandemic, their social media, and so much more. Hugos is such a fantastic ready-to-drink cocktail that you can get. Obviously, you'll find out through this interview, but definitely make sure to get out there and find it and ask for it in your local places where you buy your ready-to-drink cans because it is fantastic. Speaking of things that are fantastic, make sure to sign up for our newsletter. It comes out twice a week. You get more information about our guests, you get fun facts, and you get to find out what's happening with your favorite podcast all about beer, coffee, booze, and bruisers. So without further ado, here is Zach with Hugos Cocktails. I would like to welcome to the show Zach with Hugos Cocktails. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. So for those that are listening, kind of paint us a word picture. Where are you at? What's going on around you?
Physically, where am I at?
Yeah.
I'm in New York City in Queens, and I am in our offices, which is an apartment in Astoria.
I've been to Astoria. Astoria is a very nice little area.
Yeah, it's a good little family community. Not too crazy like other parts of the city. So it's a good little base, and my partner Christian lives close, so it's been really nice. It works well for us.
Yeah, so I read that the story of Hugos Cocktails is actually it's a success story from the pandemic, where y'all were bartenders in some restaurants in New York, and then I'll let you tell the rest. But tell us how the whole Hugos Cocktails began.
Yeah, so Christian is my partner. We first worked together starting in 2011 at a Michelin restaurant called Rouge Tomate. So Chris and I worked together for 3 years there. I got out of the industry actually for a little while. I'm from Colorado. I moved back home. I was in the mortgage industry. The pandemic hit, and Christian was working at a place called Ifiori here in New York. So essentially when the pandemic hit, Christian has a family, a wife, 2 kids now, but just one kid at the time. And he was looking to, kind of make ends meet. So he started making drinks out of his apartment and selling them to like friends and family. He and I were talking at the time. He was kind of just like filling me in, asking me questions, kind of getting my professional advice on what was happening. Because he started to get like a lot more traction. Businesses were wanting to order drinks from him. He was doing a lot of like virtual sort of happy hours with different businesses through the drinks. And at a certain point it was going well. And, together we kind of came to the conclusion. He asked me if I'd be interested in, making this like a practical business beyond just, supporting himself while he was during the pandemic. And, we set out to do the work of, founding the company, filing all of the different, jumping through sort of all the different TTV loopholes that you have to do in order to legally sell alcohol. It started from there. I mean, we really didn't quite know what we were getting ourselves into when we set out on it. It's been a hell of a journey. I mean, it's been, some growing pains, some hurdles, but I do think that, this definitely wouldn't have happened without the pandemic, because it kind of gave us that moment in time where I think a lot of people probably were wondering, questioning, do I want to stay in my current job? Is my current job coming back? What's the job landscape going to look like? So once he kind of had some good traction with it definitely gave us the inspiration to go, okay, I think we can make something out of this.
I mean, it looks like it's going really well, obviously. I mean, you guys have 3 SKUs. Kind of walk us through what these different flavors are, because they don't seem to be the normal, obviously ready-to-drink cocktails that people are used to. Kind of walk us through how y'all landed on these 3 recipes, and then obviously what the recipes are.
Sure. Let me think on this one. Because when we started this, so Christian was first making kind of like spirit, kind of spirit-stirred, spirit-forward drinks, I should say. And he was also making just like larger batch drinks that, from recipes that have been popular over our time together when we worked together, but just in general, like throughout his bartending career. And in like total transparency, we had so many ideas when we were starting out. Like we kicked around a lot of ways to approach this. At one point we thought we were going to just do like a subscription service. But when we finally settled on the first 3 SKUs that we launched, the idea was to take us back to sort of our origins when we worked together, which at Rouge Chamat, it was this really incredible program that we always had to use, like fresh juice all the time. So seasonally, whatever was in season at the time, whether we wanted to use certain ingredients or not. It was sort of like a creative pressure cooker that we had to figure out how to take those ingredients and, make them into cocktails that our clientele would enjoy. So the first 3 that we settled on, I think we knew from the get-go that we were going to do this sort of passion fruit habanero margarita variation. Again, with the focus on like how can we do as much fresh juice in these drinks, making them shelf stable, making them consistent, because it's I don't want to say like it's the exact version that you would get at like one of our bars, but it's pretty damn close to it. So we started with that drink. It's a tequila base, 13% ABV. This thing has like 52% fresh juice in it. There's some like little pink Himalayan salt in there that kind of makes you want to like keep sipping it. We then did, let me think here. We did a Moscow Mule variation, which is our ginger Fuji apple drink. So that one was inspired. Here in New York, there is a company called Red Jacket Orchards. So they're from upstate New York, and they make like this delicious cold pressed fresh Fuji apple juice. So we took kind of that as, our jumping off point. So we have that with vodka, fresh ginger, lemongrass, some fall spices. So to give you like that basis of vodka, citrus, and ginger, but then with sort of again our fresh fruit approach to it. I love that drink. Like I love the Fuji apple juice that comes through in it. And then our third SKU right now, it's probably the most difficult one to figure out. So it's a strawberry basil lemonade. It sounds super simple, but when we were making it, I recall like I constantly wanted more basil in it, but as we upped the basil, it was like oxidizing, and it would give the color like this sort of brown, not appetizing look to it. It still tasted good, but you would pour it out of the can and just wasn't looking the way we wanted it to. But so that one drinks kind of like, a sweet, tart lemonade with like a basil kick to it. So
very nice.
Yeah, they're, we'll definitely, we have more SKUs planned right now in the short term, a bunch more different things in the long term. But with those three, with each production, we're going to likely like tweak them slightly just to, constantly try to improve on them, but to, listen to feedback from consumers. What do they like about it? What do they not like about it? In general, I mean, people have received them very, very well, but, I always think you can improve on, what you're making in general, no matter what it is.
No, of course. I mean, plus you guys are still young enough to where as a company that you can obviously grow and change things as needed. Or like you said, if let's say, you started with 3 SKUs, which is fantastic. Let's say one of them doesn't work out. Maybe you could drop it, fill in one of the other ones that you guys, have in the chamber ready to go. And maybe that one will pick up and, you kind of interchange them that way.
I mean, absolutely. I'm not sure like who your typical listeners are on this podcast, but I would say, things we've learned, like coming from behind the bar to this, is like you have to keep that dynamic in mind, and then you have to like plan that out for 12 to 18 months because the changes are, it's not like, behind the bar I can make a drink for someone, discern on the spot, like what do they like, not like about it, and, 45 seconds later put a different version of it right in front of them. It'd be amazing if you could do that this way too, but it's fun. It's fun to think about, like, I mean, you're absolutely correct. Like, if we're fortunate enough to really grow this thing to where we want to, there's going to be, certain flavors with certain different demographics, different parts of, the country. Some flavors I think will do really well in specific areas, specific seasons even. And that's something that, we're learning and we're very well aware of, but, I have a lot of appreciation now for just how far in the future you have to be thinking and planning, even for changes that you wish you could have made yesterday, but you have to realize, like, be patient, be looking ahead and then seeing, like, when you can exactly introduce a new drink, if you need to, like, cut production on a certain drink, whatnot. But, it's good. It's a fun challenge to have. It can definitely be nerve-wracking at times, but it's really been enjoyable, especially as a young company. I mean, we just launched in April of this